Yeah, now I'm here to explain about crude operations, how we need to perform crude operations, how we need to perform crude operations on database using Flask. Using Flask. It is a API which can be used to develop the web applications. It can be used to develop the web applications. Now how we are going to perform the crude operations. For that I am taking here a database. The name of the database is, so any database if you want we can use. Here I want to use SQLite 3. So in PyCharm, here the editor I am using is PyCharm. In PyCharm, while we are importing Flask SQLite 3, we need to import this module into our editor. So then after that we need to, once we can import a module SQLite into once we can import the module SQLite into SQLite 3 into your editor, then the main theme here is how we are going to develop the web application. Is the main agenda. Once we can deploy your project, we want to display the menu. What is the menu we want to display is one is add employee, and another one is add employee, and another one is view employee, and the next one we need to discuss delete employee. So totally these three crude operations I want to perform using Flask on SQLite database. So once we can deploy our project, here I am giving entire flow. Why? Because in this system PyCharm interpreter is unable to install. That's why here once we can deploy, I am giving entire UI demonstration also regarding to your web application to perform the crude operations. So once we can give deploy your project, it will display. Initially we are going to invoke a file that is index.html. If you can understand my logical explanation, once I am going to display the code, then automatically you can understand that code. Why? Because here I am able to execute that code, no problem. If you will, we can understand this entire logical approach. Developing of a code is very simple in PyCharm. So first index.html. So all the view related files we want to save in PyCharm by using another folder, which is none other than templates folder. In the templates folder we need to create all the view related user interface user interface files. Then coming to the next one, first we need to take index.html. In the index.html file, here we need to take the hyperlinks. One is reference hyperlink is equal to, we need to specify the routing. The routing is, for example, add. Then this is the routing. What do you mean by that one? And here we need to take another one is here the purpose of this one is add employee. The purpose of this one is add employee, ending for anchor tag. So this statement we need to use for representing the add employee operation. So whenever we are trying to add employee, whenever we are trying to click on this add employee, then we, as I shown here, we will get three hyperlinks. Whenever we need to click on this add employee, then what it will display the output. Then we are expecting the output is we want to take one is name of the employee. ID also I want to take, but ID by default we need to write the logic or query, SQL query, to create the ID automatically. That's why 1 2 3 4 like that. Primary key, it is a unique. Then I want to take name, another one is ID, and another field I want to take is address. Another field I want to take is what? Address. Then the next thing we need to take here, we need to click on some submit button. Whenever we need to click on some submit button, here name, suppose I am taking Anu, then sorry, it is not ID. Here in place of ID, we need to take it is email. Why? Because ID already I have mentioned. Here we need to create we are expecting to create that ID automatically. Then we need to go for the email. Here email we need to take some anu@gmail.com. Then address we need to take some Hyderabad. If you are understanding this flow, developing code is very simple. Once I will display that code, easily you can understand everything. That's why please try to concentrate on the explanation related to your logic or implementation of your web application in which we want to perform the CRUD operations. Then whenever we need to click on submit button, then we are expecting the output like that. This is the output. Hello admin. This is the output we are expecting. Any whatever it may be the message. Suppose I am taking I want to display one message, hello admin, message hello admin, data inserted successfully. That is data inserted successfully, data saved successfully, whatever it may be, that message. Then again it will give us another hyperlinks which is nothing but view. Whenever we need to, after see, try to understand, here I am representing the connection. Whenever we need to click on submit, then it will use one message, welcome, hello admin, data inserted successfully. Then it will use one more hyperlink, that is view. As already I have mentioned how we need to develop the code for hyperlink, that already I have written on the board also. By using that, we need to write again one more hyperlink which can be used to represent view. So for everything here we need to represent href attribute. The value for this one is, here we need to take some routing. Then here it will go to one routing, that is view. May I know anybody from the class, can you expect what is the logic we need to take inside this view? Inside this view we want to take, inside this view we want to take, inside this view we need to take, that is we want to display in the view.html, we want to take the data related, that we want to display the data in the form of tabular representation, that is ID, then name, then email, then the next one address, whatever it may be the data we inserted, that data need to be displayed in this view. Then again here we need to get one more hyperlink, that is go to home. Whenever we need to click on go to home, again it will go to index by default file when we can deploy your project, that is add employee, and the next one is view employee, and the next one is delete employee. So whenever we need to click on this view employee, again it is rendering to view.html, where we want to write a logic to represent the code in the form of tabular representation. Here we need to take inside the body tag, what is the logic? Here I am representing logic, what we need to use to represent the code in the form of tabular representation. It is, you know already, here it is body tag we need to take, and the ending of the body tag we need to take. Then here we need to take table tag, then we need to go for ending for the table tag. Here we need to take some tr row, and we need to take td. Then we need to represent, here we need to use some for name, for loop we need to use to represent the data, and another tag we need to use end for %, like that. So by using this one we need to retrieve this data. Here we need to take one variable, that is row is equal to some x. Then we need to retrieve the data from x.id, then x.name, then x.address, and x.email. So like that, by using this logic we need to represent the data in the form of tabular representation. So this is the logic we need to write. Then go to the next one, we need to take, as already I mentioned, once we need to click on submit button, there we need to take another file, that is success.html file, which can be used for save your details in whatever it may be the details you entered, name, and you entered email, and you entered that is address. Then we need to click on submit. This data need to be saved in the table. For that purpose we need to take another file, that is nothing but save details .html file. Then after that we need to go for next one, as already I mentioned, another file, that is nothing but delete.html. So whenever we need to click on index.html, that is here we have one hyperlink, that is delete employee record, delete employee record. So whenever we have clicked on that delete employee record, we are expecting output like that. We need to take one form field, that is, you know already how we need to define the form field. We need to take the form tag, we need to take the form tag, there we need to specify action is equal to, then we need to take which action you are trying to perform, which action we are expecting whenever we need to click on. This is ID. Here we need to provide, as already I have told, ID value need to be generated primary, that is default D. Then we need to take some 1, then we need to click on delete. Here it is another button field we need to take that is delete. Then whenever we need to click on this delete, then it will render to, we are specifying here, we need to go to where it will go to delete delete file, where we need to take how we are going to delete the file. And one more very important thing, so this is the main fundamental logic related to your view. Then next thing we need to discuss about another file. It is very important file, which is none other than one Python file we need to take, that is, okay, before that Python file I want to discuss one more file. As already I have discussed with you, already I have told you, here we want to perform the CRUD operation on SQLite database. That's why first here I want to take one database dot db some py, database dot db. Here what is the purpose of this Python file? This Python file mainly can be used to connect to the SQLite database, and we need to give some acknowledgement. For that, here we need to import Flask, import SQLite 3, Flask import SQLite 3. Then we need to take one method SQLite 3 dot connect method. For this method we need to specify what is the database name, that is employee. What is the database? Employee DB. What is the database name here? Employee DB. This is the database name we need to take. We need to pass that database name as a parameter to connect method. Then the next thing, we need to take SQLite 3 dot execute. Here if you want, you can take some print database is DB is opened. DB is opened. Then we need to go for SQLite 3. Then we need to take some execute. We need, and one more thing you need to remember, everything we need to done through only the SQL query. Then now it is our agenda. We want to create, how we are going to create the SQL query for creating a table. So this is the next. Here we need to take SQL query, that is some connect method will give result is con dot execute of. Here we need to take the query create table name is some employee, table name is some employee. Here I am giving main explanation related to the important logic which will be helpful for developing the code by your own. So that is create table employee. Then here we need to take table, then we need to pass first one is ID. This is the syntax we need to follow in Python. ID, then we need to declare it as a primary key, all are uppercase primary key. Then we need to go for this one, the data type. After that, here the data type we need to specify integer. ID, that is column name, your table column name, data type, and some constraint primary key, and auto generation. So here we need to take auto generation, then comma, we need to pass again name, then text, data type is text. Then we need to take some constraint, anything if you want we can take, that is not null. Then we need to go for address, email, then that is also need to be taken as a text. Then we need to go for next one, here it is text, and it is also not must be not null, like that we need to take. Then go to the, and if you want you can add one more, that is it must be a unique. Unique means every employee should have their unique ID as a they should have unique ID. Then go to the next one. As already I mentioned, our table contains totally 4 columns. One is ID, and another one is name, and another one is email, and another one is address. The data type of this one is text, and the next one we need to go for that is, it is, if you want you can take, it is also a null. So then we need to take it is in double quotes ending of this one. Why? Because here we opened this one and execute is also opened. Be careful regarding to the syntaxes, all those things. Once we need to complete this one, if you want you can take one simple message, print table is created, table created successfully, or whatever it may be, successfully. Then go to the next one. We need to go for next one, that is, here we should close that connection which we have established as of now. So this is the main code we need to write in that is a database, in database.py. So what is the main intention for this Python file? As our intention is we want to perform the CRUD operations. To perform the CRUD operations on database, we need to connect it to the database, and also we need to create the table we need to create the table by using this logic. So once after completion of this entire logic, it is the next response. Whether you people have remember or not, as of now we implemented 2 logics. One is UI, all the UI files I have explained to you, and another one I have given. And one more thing you need to remember, whenever we are trying to click on add employee, it will display the form fields. Wherever it can display the form fields, we need to click on. Once we can enter the data, we need to click on. For example, here it is the name, then it is email, then it is address, then we need to click on submit. While we are able to insert successfully, we will get insertion done successfully. Again go to view, already I have explained. If it is unable to insert, then it will give some error message is there. To handle the error message, in the Python I have used try, except, and final block I have used. So this logic I have implemented in my Python code. So then after completion of this logic, so this template I have explained about UI related files which we need to store in a separate folder, which is none other than a template. Then I have taken, first we need to establish the connection that we have done in Python file. I have explained this entire logic, how to connect it to the database, what is the method, what is the module we need to import, what is the method we need to use in that module, and what is the logic we need to follow, or what is the query syntax we need to follow to create tables in the Python, in that SQLite database. So once after completion of this one, we will get output. But you should keep one point in your mind, once we can deploy your project, then okay, that we will discuss later. Next I need to discuss one more important Py file, which is none other than crude dot any file name, crude.py. What is the main agenda for this file? Whether you people have remember or not, I don't know. In the index.html file, we have taken 3 routines. One is add, another one is view, and another one is delete. Then in that, for the 3 views, we need to write the routing. We need to specify the routing. So this is the common syntax we need to use for specifying the routing. One is @app.route annotation. Here we need to take if it is add. Then go to the next one, function name def, we need to take add. Be careful, it is the Python, we need to follow the indentation. Whatever it may be the routing you are specifying here, view, that should be matched with your function name. That should be mapped with your function name. Then here we need to take return tender underscore template, render return render underscore template. Then it can specify to the template. Here we need to specify to where we need to go, that is add.html, add.html. And one more thing you need to remember, for add purpose and delete purpose, we want to specify now, we want to enter data now, name we want to enter, email we want to enter, and address we want to enter. For delete we want to specify the ID number which we want to delete for the employee. Due to that reason, here we need to take a comma, here we need to take comma, attribute method, comma, method is equal to, in between as array we need to specify post, comma, get, anything, post, comma, get. This is very, very important while we are entering data in the form of fields, form fields. These are the main, it is the common syntax we need to follow for add. And coming to the next one, if you want to go for view, if you want to go for view, in addition to that, we need to, the first thing, we want to open the database. We want to open the database, that is SQLite 3 dot connect which database, employee DB, whatever it may be database we created, employee DB, we need to connect it to the database, we need to connect it to the database. Then here we need to take con dot some cursor, here it will give result is con, then com dot cursor, then we need to go for con dot execute. If you want to view, we need to use the query, SQL query, select star from employee. I hope this is the logic we should follow for view, for retrieving data from the table. The same story we need to repeat for delete, the same story we need to repeat for delete. And for delete also, what the same logic, query we need to use delete from. And this is the explanation. Next one we need to discuss about for add, as already I have explained, same logic, connect to the database, SQLite, open, connect, then execute, query. What is the query for inserting data into the table? Insert into which table amma? Table name is employee, then values of we dynamically we want to insert what we are entering, then that is name comma email comma ID, not required for email comma ID, address, not required for ID. Why? Because ID will be taken automatically. So this is only the fundamental explanation regarding to logic what we are going to use in our application. If you can remember this one, automatically you will be success how we are going to get the output related to your respective code. Then the next thing we need to discuss about here, how we are going to implement all those things in programmatical approach. Here you can see, now we want to go to, now observe carefully, I am showing this entire explanation in the Flask. Here observe carefully, entire code I have implemented, but here in unable to install, unable to add that module interpreter. That's why you can see, when you know already how to create, go to file menu, there we need to take the project, new project, here we need to specify the new project. Once you can specify the new project, you know already how to add the packages. We need to add Flask and we need to add SQLite 3. Once we need to add the basic thing as already I have explained, then we need to go for templates. How we need to create the template? Go to file menu, there you need to apply, create, go to new folder, directory, then it will give us templates. You can take the templates. Inside the templates, as already I have told, the first thing whenever we can deploy our project, see the smartness, already I have explained to you, here we need to take 3 hyperlinks. One is add employee, and another one is list records, and another one is delete records. This is very simple HTML code. Then after that, here we have specified routing. Whenever we need to click on add employee, we need to go to your home or my home, or we need to go to add routing. Under this add routing, in your crude file, we have taken logic how to perform insertion operation into the table. How we need to, it will retrieve the data from entered form field and insert that data into the table. So that is by using request method. We want to retrieve the data which is entered by the user. Same analysis we need to repeat for view, same analysis we need to repeat for delete. For view, what is the story, what is the logic? We need to select star, we need to first retrieve the data from the table, then we need to display the data in the form of tabular representation. So for loop we need to use, I have given that entire explanation, but I will show everything, don't worry. Delete, we need to provide the employee ID, then we need to click on delete, then we will get data can be deleted successfully. Then after this, the first thing we need to go to, as already I have specified, first we need to go for add.html. You can see the smartness. In the add.html, as already I have told, whenever we need to click on, we need to go for where? Save details. Save details means we want to insert the data into the table. Then here action, this is the form field we have taken. Name, email, address, ID not required, submit. Output already I have displayed. For this respective code, we will get the output. For this respective code, we will get output is what ma? This is the output we will get. For this respective code, we will get the output like this we will get. You know already, here one is name and another one is email and another one is address. So like that we will get the output. Like that we will get, and the next one is submit. So whenever we need to click on this submit, whenever we need to click on this submit, we are expecting which action ma? Save details. Now we want to go to where? Save details. In the save details, what we have written, then we need to go for success.html. Here we want to go for only message. What is the message? What is the message? Whatever message we have given that we have specified in save details. And here view display, again it will rendering to view display employee. Then we need to go for view.html. You can see the smartness. Here we have represented table headers, ID, name, email, address. Then as already mentioned, for rows, the data is now available in rows. Whatever may data we entered into the form fields, whatever it may be the data we entered here, that data must be stored in where? Rows. So then from the rows, we want to retrieve ID, we want to retrieve name, email, one by one, and for the for loop, then we need to again go for home page. From here we want to go for the home page, that is index. Home page rendering is only the slash. I hope you understood the concept. Then view.html is over. Then we need to go for delete.html. You can see here we want to specify only one form field, that is we want to here rendering is delete record. Then we need to go for delete record.html. Here we need to take one message, deletion can be done successfully. Again it will go to view. Once a deletion can be done, we need to rectify that deletion has done by checking the data into the table, by displaying the data into the table. After complete, this is the main intention of UI files. Once we can complete entire logic related to your UI files, then this is the time now we need to go for employee DB. Here you can see not employee, it is the database which we can once we can deploy your code, it will create your database. Now you can see the smartness. Here already I have explained, import SQLite 3, then connect, what is the database name? Employee.db. That database is created here, employee.db. Database is opened successfully. Query, as already I have given to you, I don't know how many people have recorded that query in your notebook or in your memory. Then it was stored in table. It was done, completed. Then coming to the next one, we need to discuss about okay, after completion of this one, this is the final thing, we need to specify the routing. From Flask, this is the basic function we need to use for implementing the Flask. Initially, we'll go for index. So routing of for index is, this is the index. Then it is, as already I have explained, render-template, it will go to index.html. What is the flow? Index.html, 4 hyperlinks are there. Then we need to go for, see, observe my hand movements. Then go to the next one, add. From the add, it will go to where? Add.html. What is there in add.html? Take the details. Then here we need to go where? Save details. Then you need to check whether it will go to your home or my home or save details. Why here it is post and get? We want to insert data into the message empty I have taken, and here try. Then here we want to retrieve. I entered name is Anu. I entered email is Anu @ I entered address is Hyderabad. That was stored in name, email, address. Then by completion of these 3 lines, what happened? Whatever may be the data we entered into the form fields, that data can be available now in, can be retrieved and available in name temporary variables. So then we want to, now these 3 values we want to store in your packeter, my packeter in the database table employee. So first, where is employee? In your packeter, my packeter, employee.db, employee.db. That I have taken as what? Connect con. Then we need to go for con.cursor function. As already I have mentioned, to perform any operation, we need to use the SQL query. This query also I have explained to you. Then once we need to complete operation, the result need to be stored. The result of that respective operation should be stored in your table. That need to be done by using commit. Then employee successfully added. This is the message. We will get this message from here. Where it will go? Now we need to go for add.html. From add.html it will go to there. Then inside the view.html you can see if the data can be now it is rendering to where? In add.html it will go to save details. Then in the save details we have specified employee. If any error is there, then it will display that error. Then after that you can go to view. For view, same. View means we want to retrieve the data. We want to retrieve the data from the table, that is select star from employees. Then the data view is main intention, that in the view.html here you can see, go to view.html, success view.html. What is the logic here? See what is the routing. We want to take the data in the form of tabular representation, but for view what is the routing we have taken here? View. That's why here we will go to your home or my home or in the CRUD of view. View, then it will retrieve the data. Then that result will be stored in where? Rows. That's why from the rows there in the view.html, from the rows we want to display the data in the form of tabular representation using table. Then go to the next one, for loop also. Then after that delete record. So this is delete. Delete record means delete.html. In the delete.html what we have written? We have taken one form field. That's why we need to enter that form field. That's why method we need to take. Then it will go to your home or my home or delete record. Delete record. Now we need to see connected to the database, delete from employee where ID is so and so. This is then any error can't delete. Then message need to be displayed. What is the message? Record successfully deleted. Again it can be rendering to where? Home page. So that's why this is the entire explanation how we need to perform the CRUD operations on table by using Flask in your database. So once we can deploy your project, how we will get output home page with 3 hyperlinks. When we need to click on add employee, then rendering to form fields, provide data, submit, click on submit, go to save details, insert data into the table, data inserted successfully, go back, view, then view, display the data in the form of tabular representation, again view data, display the data in the form of tabular representation, delete, apply employee ID, delete, then deletion can be done successfully, again rendering to view. Why? Because after deleting we need to check whether the data is deleted or not. I hope this is the entire explanation. Your interpreter is not installed successful, that's why I am unable to show the execution. Once we can deploy, first output we will get database is created successfully, table is created successfully. Then there we will get IP address 5000. Then you need to click on there. It will open the by default file what ma index.html. From there it will display all the 3 hyperlinks. So from hereafter you know entire story. I hope you understood the entire logic explanation related to how we need to perform the CRUD operations on table using Flask on SQLite 3 database. Thank you very much.